Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Nicole and we have recently conceived our rainbow baby on our third cycle of Clomid. So I am here to share with you guys a little bit about my Clomid experience and really talk about the side effects that I dealt with the cycle that I conceived. To start, I want to share with you guys why I was taking Clomid. After having my miscarriage, my OB diagnosed me with anovulation. That basically means that I am not ovulating on my own, and she was concerned that because I was not ovulating regularly on my own, that it could be affecting the quality of egg that I was releasing, which then might increase the chance of me having a miscarriage. That's just what she explained to me. I'm not saying that that is fact by any means. If you're not sure what Clomid is or how it works, it is a little pill that can be given for different reasons. But when you're taking it for TTC, for trying to conceive, then you are taking it to block the receptors in your brain from reading the level of estrogen that your body is producing. So basically Clomid makes your body think, hey, we're not producing the same amount of estrogen that we would normally be producing. So then your brain sends out signals to create more FSH hormone, which is follicle stimulating hormone, and that increases your egg growth. So it could increase the amount of eggs, it could increase each egg on its own, like the size of the egg, and that just has a lot to do with when you're taking Clomid and the amount of Clomid you're taking. If you already have a dominant follicle, then that egg is going to grow faster and it's going to get more of the stimulating hormone. If you don't have a dominant follicle yet, there's a chance that it might tell multiple eggs to grow really fast since you don't have a dominant follicle yet. And then you can take Clomid on different days. So you will always take 5 pills of Clomid. So for 5 days of Clomid, I took them from cycle day 5 through cycle day 9, but I've heard of people starting Clomid on cycle day 2, cycle day 3, cycle day 4, cycle day 5. So there's kind of a range of when your physician might tell you to start taking Clomid, but you will always take Clomid for 5 days. So I did 2 rounds of Clomid on 50 milligrams and then 1 round of Clomid on 100 milligrams. The 2 rounds I did at 50 milligrams. One cycle I know for sure I ovulated because I had a progesterone test that confirmed ovulation. The second cycle I took 50 milligrams. I don't believe I ovulated and I never took a blood test, so I can't be certain of that. But then on the 100 milligrams of Clomid, I for sure ovulated and I did conceive that cycle. All 3 cycles I took Clomid, I took my pill at night before I went to bed, but the same time every night, because my doctor told me it didn't matter what time of day I took Clomid. All it mattered was that I took it the same time every day for those 5 days. A lot of advice that I had gotten from other people who had taken Clomid in the past, they told me take Clomid at night before you go to bed because it will lessen the amount of symptoms that you experience. On 50 milligrams of Clomid, so that's 1 pill every night, I had very mild symptoms. I would get some cramping and some poking around when I believed it was going to be ovulation, but other than that, I pretty much noticed no symptoms. But on 100 milligrams of Clomid, it was a very different story. I felt a lot of side effects on 100 milligrams. The first side effect I really had was strong period-like cramps right before I ovulated. It's actually the reason why I took an OPK test. I think it was cycle day 12 at night, but I will link my TTC playlist. So if you want to go back and watch those ovulation test videos, you can, and I kind of explain more about what was going on exactly that night that I took that ovulation test. But these were strong cramps, not the mild cramps that I had felt previously on the 50 milligrams. Another thing that I noticed was a loss of appetite. So I love to eat. I'm somebody who eats a lot of food. I eat multiple times a day. I'm a person who just kind of eats all day long. And I had to force myself to eat because I had no appetite. Nothing sounded good. I was just so not interested in eating at all. I also got mild headaches. It was just kind of the front of my head, and they would last for a few hours and then they would go away. They were not really bad, but I do tend to suffer with migraines. I've been on a lot of medication for them in the past, but it was nothing like a migraine that I'd experienced in the past. This is definitely something brought on from Clomid. One of the weirdest symptoms that I had that I've heard a lot of other people talk about was hot and cold flashes. I am typically a pretty cold person. Like, I'm used to being cold all the time, but after finishing all my Clomid pills, I started to notice myself getting very hot, just like randomly, and I'm like sweating for no reason. And I noticed this going from when I pretty much stopped taking Clomid until I started taking my pregnancy test. And by the time I started taking pregnancy tests, those hot flashes have gone away. Another thing is I got very bloated right around that ovulation time. Like, my whole lower abdomen area just felt really tight and full, and I looked like I had like a little belly going on. So I think that was like the Clomid working, like it was creating those follicles. So I'm sure my ovaries were very full, and that's why I was feeling like that. I never felt that on the prior 2 cycles of 50 milligrams. I also got very moody. I've heard a lot of people talk about the clomiphene monster or the Clomid monster, something like that, about how people on Clomid turn into crazy people, and I kind of felt that on 100 milligrams, not gonna lie. Definitely not my normal self. So if you experience that, it's Clomid. Just don't blame yourself, it's Clomid. The last kind of side effect that I want to share, I'm sharing at the very end, because I'm not sure if it is because of Clomid. I did experience this with the first 2 cycles I took Clomid. So when I took the 50 milligrams, I had very light periods after taking Clomid. Now, I am not sure if this is because of Clomid or if it is because I had the miscarriage at 10 weeks and I had to have a DNC. So it could have been because of the procedure, because I did take Clomid a little while after having that procedure done, but I never got full normal cycles again for me after starting to take Clomid. And obviously my cycles were kind of weird after having a miscarriage, so it was just like a hot mess for me. So I don't know what it is, but I've heard other people say that Clomid did affect their cycles. So I wanted to share that as a last little bit of information for you guys. I am also planning on sharing my story about my miscarriage and how to deal with pregnancy after loss. So if you're interested in learning about that type of stuff, please think about subscribing to my channel so that you can follow along with me and stay updated in my latest videos. Thank you for watching this video, and I appreciate all of you guys for caring and showing so much love and support through this journey. It means a lot to me.